Breaking news now in the investigation into the assassination of Haiti's president that only gets more mysterious by the day. The president of Colombia, which was home to some of the suspects, now says that some of them knew the mission was to kill Haiti's leader. It's an important development because, as the president also said, some of the suspects had received different instructions other than to kill. And more on that in a moment. Adding to the confusion of motivation and intent were comments from Colombia's police chief today. He said some suspects were planning to hand the president over to America's Drug Enforcement Agency, or DEA. He said there's no indication of the DEA's direct involvement. The agency declined to comment on the story. CNN also has new video from the night of the assassination, which includes an American suspect in the killing giving a radio interview just after the shooting. Matt Rivers has the video and the details.
Just hours after Haiti's president was killed, this video, live streamed by a local journalist, shows some of the men accused of killing him. Here you can see two of the Colombian mercenaries that officials say were part of the hit squad. The first man is holding a rifle and signals for the journalist to stop. A second then stands up, rifle glinting in the sun. They tell him to stop recording. At this point, Haitian security forces had trapped the 24 or so alleged assassins along this stretch of road. At the bottom, a roadblock. Then the lookouts, with the majority of the suspects holed up in this building. Moving up the street and past the vehicles the suspects had abandoned on the road, the camera reaches that building. As it pans, you can see two things: several black-clad mercenaries and this man, one of the two Haitian Americans accused of taking part in the crime. At this moment, he's actually giving a live interview to Haiti Radio Mega, saying they didn't kill the president. Someone died, but we didn't do it, he says. People inside the president's house started to shoot at us, and we fired back to defend ourselves. Vincent then says most of the group believed they were going to arrest the president, not kill him. The journalist who filmed them, Malhaiko Senechal, who didn't want to show his face, said the group didn't seem to have a plan. He says they knew they were in a tough position and knew the president was dead. They were confused, not sure whether to turn themselves in or fight. Ultimately, some chose to fight, and a fierce shootout with police left at least 3 Colombians dead. The easiest way to tell who actually killed the president would be to see the footage from CCTV cameras inside the presidential residence that a source tells us captured most of what happened. But authorities have refused to release it or even describe its contents.
We know that there is CCTV footage from the presidential residence the night of the assassination. Why not release that footage to the public? Would that not answer so many outstanding questions about who did this?
So we cannot reveal to the public anything, any more information until the investigator allow us to do so.
Matt Rivers joins us now live from Port-au-Prince in Haiti. So are authorities any closer to determining an actual motive?
Well, I mean, you heard us ask that question to the police chief, Anderson, and he's clearly trying to avoid answering that question, which leads you to believe one of two things. Either authorities don't actually know what the motive is in all of this, or they simply don't want to tell the members of the public, the press, what they have learned so far. We have learned a lot in the past few